So today I had two options. First option, hang out in the tent, bit of Netflix and chill, as you will. Or option B, follow a path that would lead me to a place where a very infamous historical, delusional, lying, some would say psychopathic person lived a rather interesting life, one would say. I chose option B. I'm ashamed to say it. I fell for the wrong guy, like most of us women do at some stage or another in our lives. Why do we do that even? Anywho, so I'm gonna, like a moth to the flame, I'm gonna follow in the path of this rather interesting person. And I'm traveling about 300 kilometers. I've got extra fuel and water on board. However, the road is sealed. We're packed, ready to go. And let's find out about this rather interesting historical person.
So you came here 'cause you wanna be a star. Rolling into town in your daddy's old car. Cruising down the street like a rolling stone. Pretty little boy far away from home. Diamonds on the beach on a girl that won't get old. Girl, I love your feet, kiss a body made of gold. Acting like you're cool when you try to please. It's hard to be cool when you're on your knees. Hey, Mr. J, Mr. What a day, Mr. I am addicted to you. Hey, Mr. J, Mr. What you say, Mr. Can't get enough of you. If you show me yours, I will show you mine. Always in the mood for a pantomime. Tomorrow you'll be gone and someone new will take your place. Not a country boy with a smooth and pretty face. A sunburned body or just up in jeans. Ready to play collecting broken dreams. Hey, Mr. J, Mr. What a day, Mr. I am addicted to you. Hey, Mr. J, Mr. What you say, Mr. Can't get enough of you. If you show me yours, I will show you mine. Always in the mood for a pantomime.
And here I am standing beside a waterhole, and you're thinking, oh, how girl. But long-time followers of her motorcycle adventures will know that this won't be just any old waterhole. I mean, it is pretty impressive as far as waterholes go. Now, the obvious thing being is that water is absolutely essential for our survival. In fact, even more essential in some ways than food. I mean, we can live longer just on water than food. So why am I even standing in front of this seemingly inane waterhole in the middle of nowhere? There is a point to this. Now, can you imagine back in the 1800s if you were traversing this country? You wouldn't have a Suzuki GS with extra water supplies, a camel pack on your back with 5 litres of water or what have you. No, you'd be doing much tougher because you'd only have a horse, a camel, or at worst you'd be doing it on foot. And that is indeed the point of today's story, because one such gentleman, this place played a rather pivotal part in his story, so he would know exactly how important this often, well, we don't often think about how important water is unless it plays a very pivotal part in our survival in traversing this great desolate land of Australia. The gentleman's name is Andrew Hume, and let's have a talk about why this waterhole was important to him. Now, I do use the term gentleman very loosely. Have you ever known someone who lies so much they probably lose track of what they're lied about, so you can easily catch them out by, this doesn't all add up, this person is a pathological liar, but at the time they're so charismatic that you believe them, and they even believe their own bullshit. I think we've all met someone like that. In fact, I knew someone like that who was such a pathological liar, cost me a small fortune and a few years of my life. But I digress. This video is not about yours truly, it is about Andrew Hume. Now, there was a famous explorer here in Australia back in the 1800s named Ludwig Leichhardt. And during one of his trips of exploration into Central Australia, he mysteriously vanished. And to this very day, no one knows where he ended up or his ultimate fate. And this is where Andrew Hume fits in. Now, I'm not going to bore you with the details about Andrew Hume. This is a motorcycle adventure channel after all. But what you do need to know is that he found himself in jail serving 10 years hard labour after having robbed a local inn. Now, it was during this stint in jail that Hume sent a letter to authorities claiming that he knew where one of Leichhardt's team members was surviving. In fact, Hume claimed that the surviving member of Leichhardt's team was out here amongst the Aboriginal population. Now, to cut a long story short, the government was absolutely intrigued, and why wouldn't they be? Because Leichhardt was such a decorated explorer, and they wanted to solve this mystery of where he actually disappeared. How far did he go? There was a lot of mystery surrounding this, and even to this day no one's really exactly worked it out. So what the government did at the time was they actually granted Hume a pardon from jail in exchange for leading a team to find the living member of Leichhardt's team, which Hume claimed at the time. Personally, I think the government fell for Hume's charms and head full of lies, as one by one of Hume's claims, well, proved at best loosely related to the truth, but at worst an outright lie. It was in this very region that Hume and his team got themselves into trouble. A whole lot of it, actually. As you can see, it's pretty unforgiving country. And stories of Hume's so-called competencies and skills were quickly becoming unravelled. Much of them were simply untrue, and they were in very unforgiving territory. Ultimately, Hume stopped at this very spot and took on some water. Right here. Then he and his team departed for the next destination, Cooper Creek. They were supposed to head northwest, but that accidentally turned south. And by the time they'd realised their mistake, it was too late. Now, Andrew Hume did actually tell his team to retreat immediately from their mission and return to this very waterhole. But ultimately their fate was already sealed, and Hume himself, as well as one of the other members of the team, died of thirst. Now, there was only one member that actually made it back to this very waterhole and survived. There's a small plaque here to commemorate the ill-fated expedition, but apart from that, the story is lost to history. It's pretty much agreed nowadays that he was at worst a sociopath, at best totally delusional. However, the underlying truth is that this charming, confident and charismatic man managed to hoodwink the government of the time. I guess as many of us have learned the hard way, myself included, not everyone with a confident persona and a glint in their eye can be trusted. Still, it makes for an interesting piece of history, huh?